This guide is designed to get you up and running on a Holy Paladin as fast as possible. I'm going to show you the talents, glyphs, macros, and skills that you should be using, as well as talk about the playstyle so you know what you're doing. Chapters will be listed down below. Let's get started. First things first, talents. This is the standard Holy Paladin build. This is the standard build listed on Wowhead as well for Holy Paladins, and you should be using this. Once your talents are set up, you're going to want to set these glyphs. Go ahead and pause the video again if you need to. Alright, glyphs and talents are set up. Let's go ahead and set up macros. You can copy and paste my macros from the description of this video to make it easy. Just make sure to set the appropriate skill icon for each skill. Once this is done, drag them onto your bar. I'll quickly explain what these macros do. Most of the macros are simple Mouseover macros. What this means is you can now heal by mousing over a unit frame rather than by clicking on the target and clicking the heal button. Many healers are probably already using these, but if you are not using Mouseover macros yet, it is absolutely going to change the game for you. No matter what healing class you play, you should be using Mouseover macros or an add-on that allows you to do this. The next macro is Divine Sacrifice or DSAC, one of the most important cooldowns in Wrath of the Lich King. This talent provides a 20% damage reduction for the entire raid. The base effect of the skill allows you to absorb damage from your party members and take it on yourself. Doing this in a raid during an intense damage phase like Tantrum on XT will likely lead to you dying. This is why we have this macro. You will press it once to activate Divine Sacrifice and then press it a second time to cancel aura on the Divine Sacrifice. This will leave up the 20% damage reduction on your raid while getting rid of the damage redirection buff on yourself. The macro for Divine Plea here is a cancel macro in case you want to cancel your Divine Plea, which cuts your healing. This might be useful if you're about to finish a big cast and need to cancel the Divine Plea right before the cast finishes. Before we get into the playstyle section, I will mention stat priority. You're going to want to stack as much intellect as possible. Your second highest prioed stat is Haste. Holy Paladins do not need spirit or mana per 5 gear whatsoever, so these stats are not priority. I typically pass on all items with spirit on them. You will also want to make sure to farm out Soul Preserver and try to get your hands on the intellect version of the Dark Moon card Greatness. If you don't have Soul Preserver and think that it is just a joke, it is probably going to be biz for the rest of the expansion. I would highly recommend farming out Soul Preserver in normal COS. Me and a Prot Warrior actually just 2-manned it repeatedly and I got it on my 3rd run. Now for the playstyle of Holy Paladin, it is overall simple. Before the fight starts, place your Beacon of Light on the tank as well as Sacred Shield. Sacred Shield may be removed if another Paladin is casting it on this target, so you may want to communicate to them and coordinate Sacred Shield targets. On pull, judge the boss or an enemy to get your haste buff. You will want to keep this buff up at all times during the fight. When you go to heal any target other than your beacon target with Holy Light. You will be casting Holy Light almost exclusively on every single fight ever. You will seldom use Flash of Light or really Holy Shock except in certain situations. Say someone needs an instant heal before they tick in the fire on Mimiron, you could Holy Shock them. Or if you were Holy Shocking while moving on Mimiron and then use the instant Flash of Light proc on someone else to save them from a fire tick, that might be okay too. It is normally only for situations like that, otherwise you will want to spam Holy Light. As a Holy Paladin, you have some of the best mana regen in the game. With Seal of Wisdom, you can melee a target to gain massive amounts of mana back. This, in combination with Divine Plea, is an extremely powerful way to get all of your mana back and keep you pumping heals on any fight you feel is safe enough to melee. The macro we made earlier for Wings plus Divine Illumination is also extremely powerful, especially if you time it for big moments of incoming damage. I normally pop this on Tantrum or on Kolagarn when he yells. I also macro my Engineering Glove buff into this just so that I can have that extra bit of haste when I need it. A quick tip on Holy Paladin is that if you are expecting damage to come in soon but not exactly sure when, you can cancel your heals over and over until it is needed. Simply cast a heal on someone you think may need it, and if they don't, you cancel and start again. If you predict the damage correctly, you can let the heal finish and heal them efficiently before another quick melee swing comes out. This can be extremely helpful on fights like Algalon where your tank gets crumpled in 1 to 2 seconds, or they can dodge for several seconds and take no damage. Another important cooldown that I believe is often overlooked is Aura Mastery. Aura Mastery is going to be extremely powerful in many different situations in Ulduar. Your talents include Improved Devo Aura, so you're going to be running this most of the time for the additional armor. When you're not going to be running this is if you need Fire Resistance Aura, making sure to Aura Mastery at appropriate times, such as before Flame Jets goes off or before the ads actually explode on Freya, is going to be key to mitigating damage for your raid and becomes very helpful. Frost Resist Aura can also be extremely helpful on Thorum hard modes and on Odir. If you don't have a priest in your group, then Shadow Resistance Aura can be extremely helpful as well on certain fights like Yogg or on Vezax. And it is important to mention that Concentration Aura, whenever used in Aura Mastery, prevents silence. This is absolutely needed to do Yogg Zero Light to prevent the AoE silence to the entire raid. I will quickly just mention the consumables that you should be using and we will end the video. I hope this helped you out. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.